All right, guys, this morning we have a very, very interesting topic to talk about. And we're going to basically be piggybacking off of the video from a friend of mine, another great tech creator, Greggles TV. I'm going to drop a link in the description to their full video. If you haven't watched it yet, pause this, go watch his video because it is, again, the source of this information and it's really, really good stuff. In this video, assuming you've already watched it now, what they are reporting is that they reached out to a very reliable source. I cannot tell you who that source is, but I do know who the source is, and I will say that they are indeed a very reliable source and someone who, when they talk about this sort of thing, they're someone that you should listen to. And this source had something very interesting to tell Mr. Greggles about the upcoming Pixel Fold 2. Of course, nothing's been formally announced, but as is Google's normal tradition, leaks will begin flowing very soon, and I expect this in particular to be sort of covered more broadly over the next few days or even weeks. But for now, he's the only one actually talking about this. He's getting the scoop on it. And basically, the short version of this is that the Pixel Fold screen is going to be getting larger. So currently, the Pixel Fold has a 5.8-inch cover display and a 7.6-inch tablet display, inner display. Now, what they are reporting is that the Pixel Fold 2 is going to have an 8-inch main display and a 6.3-inch cover display. So that is getting significantly larger on the cover display and, again, slightly larger on that tablet display. But of course, just hearing these numbers, reading these numbers, that doesn't really tell you a whole lot. So what did I do? I went and I grabbed a measuring tape. I grabbed some paper, a pencil, and some scissors, and I tried to sort of cut out of paper what that might be like so we can have a scale representation, and let's look at that now. So as you can see here, I have two little paper cutouts and then my original Pixel Fold. Now, why do I have two? Because this first one is the exact measurements given, okay? So we're looking at 6.3 inches and 8 inches this way. But it's important to remember that when we're talking about these foldables, the screen does not take up the entire front of the device. You can see there is quite a bit of space around, whether you're talking about the bezel, or then on the hinge side, the bezel is much, much wider. So again, this is just the screen. But if we take this and we compare this to the screen of the current Pixel Fold, I think what you can see here is that it is going to be, if this rumor holds up and turns out to be true, much, much larger in the vertical, the height axis, than it currently is. When it comes to the width, it's actually going to be a little bit wider as well. So the screen is getting a little bit wider, but a whole heck of a lot taller. And it actually reminds me a lot of the cover display on the OnePlus Open. If we look at the height here, if we try to line that up, it's almost exactly the same height as the OnePlus Open, and it is slightly wider than the OnePlus Open, if you can make that out. So basically, what we're looking at here is a slightly wider OnePlus Open. Now, the second cutout, what I did is I took those exact dimensions, and then I tried to sort of account for the fact that we're going to have sort of bezels, and we're going to have the hinge and so forth. So I added the same amount. So what I did is I took this display here, which is 7.6 inches, and then I measured the actual body of the device, and that ends up being basically 8 inches. So I took that 0.4 inches and added it to the exact measurements to get this. Assuming that the bezels stay the same, which they probably won't, this would be about what the device will look like. We should also look at what this tablet display would look like compared to these devices. So compared to the current Pixel Fold, we are going to be losing a little bit of width on the opened up screen and then gaining some height. And again, if we set this next to the OnePlus Open, it is almost identical. Take your OnePlus Open that you may or may not have. We're lined up here. We're hanging over by just a little bit here. It is a slightly wider OnePlus Open. Now, if we take the device and we again assume that the bezels are remaining the same, maybe we can do it this way and set the Open on top of it. Maybe you can see there that again, it's really, really similar, guys. It's just a slightly bigger OnePlus Open. And if we do the same here with the Pixel Fold, we're hanging off on the top and bottom with a little bit of width being lost on the inside. Now, personally, I'm not really happy to hear this sort of information, and I'm hoping that it ends up being inaccurate, because to me, a big part of the appeal of the Pixel Fold is the screen size. It is the aspect ratio. It is that it is a compact flagship. I've talked about this in multiple videos. I love the fact that I've got a compact flagship here that opens up into a tablet. We already have the OnePlus Open. We already have this aspect ratio. So why would we want to stop being different? I don't know. To me, this is a selling feature, and it's not a selling feature for everybody, right? But it gives them a niche. And a niche is really, really important to have. Now, I do want to point out some obvious things here. This is really, really early on. We saw with the OnePlus Open / Oppo Find N3 that sometimes these things can change pretty late in the game. So keep that in mind. And then another thing is, with my cutouts in particular, this is imprecise, right? Like, this is absolutely not perfect. This is just to give you sort of a general idea. And the general idea that I want you guys to be thinking about is, would you prefer a Pixel Fold that is basically a slightly wider OnePlus Open with the Tensor G3 more than likely, with the Pixel 8 Pro features more than likely? Is that a device you would be more interested in versus if they were to keep the current, mini flagship that opens up into a tablet design that they currently have? I'd love to hear what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Again, I'm not into it. I don't like this change personally. I like the Pixel Fold the way it is. It's one of my favorite things about it. It's one of the things that when I'm using my OnePlus Open that makes me want to go back to the Pixel Fold. If you could give me the Pixel Fold with the screen quality, the brightness and quality of the OnePlus Open, but that size of the Pixel Fold, dude, I would be absolutely sold. But again, I'd love to know what you guys think about this. So drop those in the comments down below. Massive shout out to Mr. Greggles himself for this fantastic video. This video needs more views than this. People are not picking up on this. Go click on it. Go watch it. If this ends up holding up, then man, what a scoop they will have ended up getting. So tip of the hat to you, good sir. At any rate, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.